G'day, John Canny here. Today I'm going to talk to you about a product from a company called Bushwrapz, who are in Brisbane, Queensland. Now, it's a do-it-yourself PPF film. Now, what's PPF film? Well, PPF film is a polyurethane film that goes onto the paintwork of your car and protects it. Okay, it's a self-healing product, it's invisible, and a lot of people are doing it with, well, it's been around for quite a few years now, so it's a proven product, I think. I haven't proved it myself yet, and in 12 months time I'll tell you again what I think of it. But this is a do-it-yourself pack, which makes it a lot cheaper than the $5,000 or $6,000 that it normally costs to get your car completely wrapped professionally. My question, and what I'm going to answer today, the do-it-yourself, which is not $5,000 or $6,000, but in this case $1,320, is it worth doing that? And will you get the protection? And can you do it at home? All of those questions. Or is it a bloody waste of money and don't bother? So I'll give you a honest opinion of what I've done. Now, when I say I'm going to give you an honest opinion, I will. I'll tell you at the end of this video the pros and cons of the whole process. But I want to make it very clear. I started off inquiring about the professional $6,000 job, and I ended up being offered this kit by Bushwrapz for free. So I did not pay for it, but it's not going to affect what I say, and they're going to get what I say, like it or lump it. So there are three different options with Bushwrapz. You can get what they call a cape, which is the most inexpensive version, and they offer a 1-year guarantee with that, and that's about $700 for that. Okay, and if you're just going on one big trip, that's probably for a year, that's probably good protection. If you've got a four-wheel drive that you're continuing to go out over a number of years, then the next level up is the Advance, and that's got a 5-year guarantee with it, and that's the kit that I've got that I'm going to put on this car. And then of course you can get the professional job, which they offer a 10-year guarantee, and you pay $6 grand for it, and it covers all surfaces, because these kits only virtually cover the vertical sides of your car. So there's bits where you get all those trees and branches and things brushing along the side of the car through the bush, and you get pinstriping on your car. That's what it's going to protect it from. They're self-healing, so those scratches, if the Bushwrapz polyurethane film will absorb those, or take the scratches, and then a bit of sunlight, bit of heat onto them, and they'll disappear. That's the theory. Let's see how I went about putting it on and how it went for me in the first trip. Okay, let's go. Okay, so I've got my test sheet now. I'm going to try my test sheet. I've mixed up my slippery soapy solution, and I'm going to get started and try this out. So the idea firstly is to take this off. Okay, so here's my test bit. It's thoroughly wetted, as they say. I've wet my hands, now I wet the car, and see how well we slide. Oh, I think I've got enough. That seems to be moving pretty easily. So, yep, I'm kind of happy with that. Right, so we're ready to go with our first piece. This is clearly marked. They're all clearly marked. This is the left rear quarter panel. So that looks to me like the easiest one that we can do. So we're going to start with this. So my able assistant here is going to hold it while I peel it off. We'll see how we go with the first one. Wet your hands. Right. Okay. Now, I'll just put that down for a moment till we, I think firstly, let's bound that way to you. All right. Okay.
Tell us to pull it off would be helpful.
Okay. Oh, you just hold the sheet. You got hold of it, hold it firmly. Okay, this is coming off fairly easily at this point of time. Okay. Okay, so I've done a couple of little bits just to hold it on, and I'm just making sure. I'm a bit nervous. This is my first sheet. It looks like it's in the right spot. Oh, this is fun. I got it lined up right. Yep. Rag in my pocket here. Yeah, I've got some things. I've got a fair bit of moisture in there that's running back in. So I think I've got this right. Get rid of some of this moisture on the surface. Yeah, I've got a little finger in there. Just try and squidge out, which I did. Got a couple of little air bubbles in there, which have gone now. And I'll just get rid of these. Oh, there's a couple in there I want to get rid of. Now that's a skinny bit, so it's moving around a little bit, but it's, well, I'm pretty chuffed with that. Is that an air bubble? Yep. Well, I gotta say, I'm pretty, I don't see any bubbles. Oops, got this bit down here to do. Now, if I have a look here, I've got, oh no, that's just a little scratch underneath it. Well, I'm pretty happy with that. What I do notice on there, I think there's a couple of little specks of dirt under there. Now my question is, do I worry about those or do I peel it off like they say? Let's get some. And then I'll put it back. Okay, so that was just a little exercise in removing a little speck of dirt that was under there, and that went pretty well. So I think I'm pretty happy about that. It wasn't that hard at all. The panel looks marvellous. So I'll go and get the next bit. There for the moment. Get that up here. Okay, so got this on. Let's get this happening. Just make sure we've got this all lined up perfectly, which is about there. Okay. Some of that excess water off this. Okay. Okay, so that looks quite tricky, that bit, with all the loose bits hanging around, but we got there in the end. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to stop and seal the edges, seeing as I've done this quarter panel, see where we go from there. So I'm going to be using a heat gun, and I'll just go around the edges. Okay, so here it is the next day. I've let it dry, and I've been around and got a few of the little air bubbles that were in it out with my syringe, but it looks pretty bloody good, to be honest. I'm quite pleased. In fact, I'm very pleased with it. Let's have a look. She's certainly shiny, and unless you look closely, you're not going to really know that there's anything on this car. I mean, if you come up really close, not sure whether... Okay, so it looks pretty good. Gotta say, I think I'm happy with it. There's a few little water spots on here that I believe are going to go away. I can't see too many at the moment. So what's going to happen now is today's Thursday afternoon, or Saturday morning bright and early, I'll be heading off on my trip to the Outback for a week or so, and we'll see what it looks like when it comes back. We can see on here I've got some pinstriping. Let's see whether you can see it through there. don't know whether it shows up on the doors. So I've got this Bushwrapz PPF on here, paint protection film, and I'm kind of pretty happy I've got it on there. Just we'll see what it looks like when I clean it off, but when you see what gets thrown up against these cars when you get out there, I'm glad I've got it on there. Looks pretty good. You can see the difference. This panel doesn't have any PPF on it. This panel and this panel has the Bushwrapz PPF. The do-it-yourself job. So I'm very happy and I've got it on. When I wash it, I'll tell you what it looks like. I'll tell you what's happened with these pinstripes that you can see through here. I'm not sure where they show up in the camera. Across here, certainly through there's a number of them. So we will see. I've washed it, I've got all the mud off. So let's have a look. I've got it out in the sun here and you can see that it looks pretty shiny, which it should. It's a pretty new car. Okay, now let's have a closer look. There were pinstripes all over this panel here and there's nothing. Can you see where the plastic sheet is on? If you look really closely now, when I've washed this, it's just been a backyard wash. Didn't sham it or anything like that. There's a bit of dust still in here and around there, so it's not a professional wash or anything like that. It's just my normal backyard wash, and I gotta say, it looks great. A couple of things about the wash. It came back caked in mud, and I was not able to use the high pressure washer. Normally I would have just got straight into it with the high pressure washer, but they recommend that you don't use a high pressure washer on it, so unless you're at least a metre away, which I did, so I was very careful about that. So that can be a bit of an inconvenience, I suppose, but yeah, nothing really. I'm taking this in for a service shortly. They normally wash my car. I'm going to tell them don't wash the car because they probably use high pressure washers on it and you wouldn't want to put it through a car wash. But they're about the only negatives. Really, I got to say, I'm really happy with this on my car and I'm glad I've got it on there. It's just come up great. It's not a mark on it. You cannot see that it's on my car unless you go right up really close and you have a look and you see a tiny little line there. A couple of weeks on, I don't know whether it's the hot weather, hot sun or whatever, but any imperfections that I thought I had have just disappeared. No air bubbles, no. There were little spots that I had on it that had like water or little sort of marks underneath. It just all disappeared. Look at this, look at that, it looks just beautiful, doesn't it? If you can see on an angle there, with the sun on it, you cannot see a mark or an imperfection on that door. I can't. So yeah, look, I gotta say, I reckon for $1,300 or $1,320 or whatever it is, I would certainly, I'd certainly do this again, just to give that extra protection to my car and my paintwork, without spending, $5,000 or $6,000. Sure, $5,000 or $6,000 might be a bit better, but maybe not. What I would like, as I've said before, I'd like a bit on these panels here. So there you are. That's the product from Bushwrapz. My feeling is that it's certainly worthwhile. At this stage, I'm really happy with it. I've got no scratches on my car. You can't see it on my car. My car looks good. So all I can do is say, for me, it's worthwhile, and I think $1,300 compared to $6,000, it's a pretty good investment. The other thing about it is that if you happen to damage a panel, there's no problem with repairs. They just pull it off, they repair it, replace it. You just get onto Bushwrapz and they send you out that panel alone. So it's easy to fix up if you do happen to ding something. Of course, what it looks like in 6 months, what it looks like in 12 months, I can't tell you that because I've had it 3 weeks and one trip. But I'll have a look at it again in 12 months and let you know then. But at the moment, I'm pretty happy with it. Hope you enjoyed that. Please, and I hope it was of some use to you if you're thinking about PPF film. Please subscribe to my channel. It really helps. Okay, thanks guys. Talk to you next time.